You are teaching contact improvisation in, I think, at least in Europe and Russia, Ukraine. Can you maybe say about some different qualities, different interests of people from Russia, Ukraine, and European people? Are there any differences between European people and people from Russia and Ukraine?
Yeah, it's always difficult, this question, and you're not the first one asking this, and I'm a little bit I don't want to generalize too much. For me, a big difference is the situation in Europe. We have contact improvisation since 40 years. It came in the 70s, it came to Germany, I guess also in Italy there have been early performances in the 70s. In Switzerland it arrived around 1980. So we have it since a long time, it's available, we can do it, we have a tradition, we have a history, and in a way, how do I say, we could profit since 30 years, since 40 years. The big difference in Russia and Ukraine, all these countries that have been part of the Soviet Union, or also Poland, Czech Republic, all these countries who were somehow like taken by Soviet Union. Here it's available since maybe 20 years. And when the big change happened in the East, contact was not immediately here, I guess, so it took some time. And I have the impression that things like Feldenkrais, yoga, all these things came after the big change. And so I feel here much more a hunger for this information. I have the impression people really want to get it, really want to learn it. And sometimes I have the impression they're also kind of impatient, or maybe too much, how do I say, too much wanting to achieve something, to make this skill, to make this lift. And of course this is a general problem in contact improvisation. When I talk a lot about perception, about basics, some people lose a little bit interest because they don't really understand contact improvisation. And I have the impression in East European countries the hunger is maybe still a bit too big to achieve a certain level quite early. And in a way I can understand. I was in the same position in the 90s. I was dancing like crazy. I went over my limits. Aching back was for me normal after every jam. After every long jam I had really aching lower back until my disc jumped out. And I guess this is one of the big differences. And then probably it's also culturally that East European countries have much more a focus on community, on doing things together. I have the impression there is a more emotional access also. I have the impression here the emotions and the mind are still more connected than in Europe or in the United States. So it feels also in a way more rich. I feel more human bodies. Maybe it's a little bit difficult to say that, but in a way it's like that, yeah.
There is one topic which is during last years I heard a lot of time was discussed. It's about sexuality in contact improvisation. So it's for many people who are looking at contact improvisation first time or trying, this question arises because it looks like too intimate, we're touching too much each other, doing something on the floor, and for many people it's very unusual and like prohibited thing, and they're asking what's the attitude of contact improvisation towards sexuality? What is your thoughts about this topic?
I once did a workshop with Dieter Heidkamp 10 years ago or even more, and he was working a lot on sensuality and sexuality, and the workshop was called something like so playing with the limits, with the borders. And then he said one sentence, and this really helped me a lot. He said, when sexual energy is rising up, just take it and feed the dance with this energy. So for him, sexual energy is not something to push away, but it's also not something to go into it completely in a sexual way, but to take this energy and feed the dance. And then the dance stays dance, but maybe is much more sensual or erotic, or I can move this energy. I guess for me that there are two major problems. When sexual things arise, then people, mostly male dancers, get a thing of one direction. I want more and more and more and more of this. So it's not anymore open improvisation where the dance can develop into any direction. So it's getting narrow, like that. And the other thing is, often I'm a little bit fed up with the neediness of the people. The neediness of, I want to get touched, I want to get this, I want to touch this body. They want to get something, and they don't understand that in contact basically it's about giving something, and through giving you receive back something. And maybe this is for the people who are a little bit over-sexualized, and for those who feel rejected. For them, I guess it's important to stay very physical with the touch, also not to have all this, how do I say, to combine it, also to touch pelvis to pelvis can be very sexual because it's very intimate space, but I can also change my focus and just feel the bones meeting, I can feel the structure meeting. So as I said yesterday, improvisation for me is mainly leading my attention. So I have the choice if I lead my attention towards sexuality or towards two bones meeting. And spreading out my awareness all over my body, not to focus it on my intimate places. And of course it's intimate. And for me the most important is when intimate moments are there in a dance, that the dancers stay aware of the space. They are not in a private space. Because not everybody wants to watch intimacy from outside. And it's dangerous when two dancers just are in a bubble and they are aware of what is happening around. And for me, those kind of dances often are sucking the energy from the space. These dancers who are in a bubble with each other, this can be this can be for different reasons, and one reason is just to experience intimacy with each other. They don't give anything to the space anymore, but they use the space, and the dancers have to take care that they don't hurt them because they are in a way. So for me, I love sensual dances. I love when it's also this energy of man and woman. For me it's a big difference if I dance with a man or with a woman. Many people bring tantra into contact improvisation, and for me the big question is always, what kind of tantra do you mean? Is it the tantra of just being sensual with each other, or is it the really deep original tantra where you don't have a goal and sexuality is part of life, but it's not the goal to get sexuality? So in the real deep tantra, people are still improvising also with sexuality. They're not just looking for. Yeah.
Okay, and maybe last thing, there are so many definitions of contact improvisation, and it's always very difficult to say what it is. Can you say from yourself maybe your definition, or your definition from this moment? What is this?
When I come to a space, I have the impression I can see what is happening, this is contact, or I can see, no, this is not contact for me. And for me, touch is included, weight exchange is included. Not all the time, but part of the dance is weight exchange. Dealing with gravity is included. Momentum is included. Communication between two bodies. And of course, the part of improvisation. When I see people just doing the same shoulder lift again and again, and the 10 patterns, then it's for me not contact improvisation, then it's some kind of doing exercises and doing as if you would dance. And I often mention a sentence of Steve Paxton. This is for me the shortest definition of contact improvisation. I hope I remember well. He said, there are two people, do under another as if you would have him do under you. Do under another as if you would have him do under you. And for me this means it does not matter if you are on top or underneath, you're moving together.
Thank you. Thank you for interview. Thank you for classes and for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much for inviting me here and hosting me. It's a very, very nice space here, very nice place, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.